The UK prides itself on being a multicultural society. However, the reality for many legal migrants tells a different story. The journey starts with stringent requirements just to enter the country. Migrants must provide proof of English proficiency. They're also required to pay a hefty immigration health surcharge annually. This fee, currently at £1,035, grants access to the National Health Service. On top of this, migrants pay taxes and national insurance contributions like everyone else. These financial burdens are just the beginning of their struggles. Migrants seeking work in the UK face additional hurdles. The skilled worker visa, a common route for skilled professionals, requires meeting specific criteria. Minimum salary thresholds are set for different occupations, ensuring only those deemed highly skilled can enter. This system prioritizes economic contribution over the real lives and aspirations of individuals. The application process itself is costly and time-consuming, often leaving migrants in a state of uncertainty and anxiety. The financial requirements don't stop at the visa application. Migrants often struggle to find affordable housing in the UK, especially in larger cities. Landlords often request large deposits or guarantors, which can be difficult for newcomers to provide. The process can be even more challenging for those from minority ethnic backgrounds who may face discrimination from landlords. This systemic disadvantage adds another layer of difficulty to their integration process. The UK government's policies, while seemingly neutral, often disadvantage legal migrants, particularly those from non-European backgrounds. The points-based immigration system, introduced in 2021, favours those with higher incomes and specific skills. This system, while aimed at attracting high-value migrants, creates a hierarchy that disadvantages those from lower-income backgrounds, even if they possess valuable skills. The message is clear: economic contribution trumps all other considerations. Once in the UK, legal migrants face a complex and often unforgiving visa system. Visas are typically granted for specific periods, requiring repeated renewals. Each renewal comes with another round of paperwork, fees, and the ever-present anxiety of potential rejection. The process is emotionally draining and financially taxing, creating a constant sense of insecurity. For many, the dream of building a stable life in the UK feels perpetually out of reach. The limitations placed on student visas further compound these challenges. While international students contribute significantly to the UK economy and society, their time spent studying does not automatically count towards indefinite leave to remain. This means that even after years of living, studying and contributing to the UK, they must navigate the complex and uncertain path to other visa categories. This system undervalues their contributions and creates unnecessary barriers to putting down roots. The hostile environment policy, introduced in 2012, aimed to make it more difficult for undocumented migrants to live in the UK. However, this policy has had far-reaching consequences for legal migrants as well. The increased scrutiny and documentation requirements have led to numerous cases of legal migrants being wrongly denied access to services or even facing deportation. The fear of making a simple mistake and being caught in the web of bureaucracy is a constant source of stress for many. The UK government's rhetoric surrounding immigration often fuels a climate of suspicion and hostility towards migrants. The focus on reducing net migration figures, regardless of the human cost, creates a narrative where migrants are seen as numbers rather than individuals with hopes, dreams, and the right to build a life for themselves. This dehumanizing discourse trickles down to everyday interactions, making some migrants feel unwelcome and unsafe in the country they now call home. One of the most glaring injustices faced by legal migrants is the no recourse to public funds condition. This policy bars many legal migrants from accessing essential welfare benefits, such as universal credit, even though they contribute to the system through taxes. This creates a two-tier system where migrants are denied the same safety net afforded to other residents, pushing them into precarious situations. The NRPF condition is a stark example of the UK government's contradictory approach to immigration. Despite facing numerous obstacles, legal migrants make significant contributions to the UK. They work in essential sectors such as healthcare, education and technology, filling critical labour shortages. They contribute significantly to the economy through taxes and national insurance contributions. They enrich the social fabric of the UK, bringing diverse perspectives, skills and experiences. Yet their contributions often go unrecognised and unappreciated. The COVID-19 pandemic starkly highlighted the hypocrisy of the UK's treatment of migrants. Many essential workers hailed as heroes for keeping the country running during the crisis were migrants subject to the NRPF condition. They risked their lives on the front lines, yet were denied the same safety net and support as their British-born counterparts. This blatant injustice sparked outrage and calls for reform, but the underlying systemic inequalities persist. The experiences of legal migrants in the UK are not monolithic. Black, Asian and European migrants, while all facing similar challenges, often experience discrimination and prejudice in distinct ways. Black migrants in particular face the brunt of institutional racism, reflected in racial disparities in healthcare, education and employment. Asian migrants, particularly Muslims, often face Islamophobia and prejudice based on their faith. European migrants, while often perceived as more acceptable, can also face discrimination and xenophobia. The UK's treatment of legal migrants is a stain on its conscience. Despite contributing significantly to the country's economy, society and culture, legal migrants are often treated with suspicion, hostility and outright discrimination. The stringent requirements for entry, the complex and unforgiving visa system, the NRPF condition and the pervasive discrimination create a hostile environment that makes it incredibly difficult for migrants to build a stable and fulfilling life. The time has come for the UK to confront its hypocritical and unjust treatment of legal migrants. The government must move beyond rhetoric and enact meaningful policy changes that reflect the valuable contributions of migrants. This includes reforming the visa system to make it fairer and more transparent, abolishing the NRPF condition and tackling the root causes of discrimination. Recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every individual, regardless of their immigration status, is crucial. Migrants are not numbers or economic units. They are human beings with hopes, dreams, and the right to live a life free from fear and prejudice. Creating a truly welcoming and inclusive society requires a fundamental shift in attitudes and policies, one that acknowledges the invaluable contributions of migrants and treats them with the respect and dignity they deserve. The UK must move beyond the rhetoric of a hostile environment and create a society that values the contributions of all its residents, regardless of their birthplace. This requires a collective effort from policymakers, civil society and individuals to challenge prejudice, promote understanding and build a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.